This week's video is about a beautiful woman that runs a beautiful fish store. I ran into this store about 6 months ago and I was blown away, and I filmed a little bit of it, but I didn't really know the backstory. And then I found out that the owner was going to be at MACNA, and I grabbed her for an interview, so this is what you're about to see. But before I do that, I wanted to tell you about something that happened at MACNA. I had the Elos test kits on in my booth, and one of the, or actually two of the Elos representatives showed up and said, "Hey, you sell our products. Can we answer any questions?" And I told them, "I hate this test kit." And their eyebrows shot up. And I thought, what is the deal with this test kit? Because the nitrate test kit says in the instructions in every single language to shake it for 5 minutes. And I thought, that's insane. I don't want to shake anything for 60 seconds, let alone 5 minutes. Now, I've been using my magnetic stirrer, so I can just set a timer and tell it to just do its thing. But turns out that's a mistake in the kit. So if you have this kit and you've been shaking it for 5 minutes, you don't have to anymore. They said the biggest problem that they run into with customers is they don't shake it enough. But he said if you shake it for 1 minute, that's all it needs. Then you can let it sit. And then after the duration has elapsed, which probably is 5 minutes, then you'll see if your nitrate is anywhere between 0 and whatever the highest number is. I can't even remember. Let me check. The highest number is 25, which would be from clear to dark pink. So it's not 5 minutes, and I wanted to make sure you guys knew that. All right, so enough about that. Let's get into the video. This is Jennifer Nies. Jennifer, we're here at MACNA, but I met you about 6 months ago in your fish store.
Yep.
And I was so impressed with what your store looked like.
Thank you.
Because it's a beautiful store. It's not just a fish store. And so I filmed a little bit of it, but I didn't really have narration, didn't really have the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I found out a week ago you're coming to MACNA, I said, let's film this interview now.
Awesome.
So I did a little Googling. Because I had to get a few, I was going to do the normal narration, but I'd much rather have you speak. And I found out that you started when you were in high school?
Yeah, so I started New Wave, which was formerly called Aquaria, actually, a little under 20 years ago.
Wow.
So in high school.
You must have been 7.
No, I was 9. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I had a business partner for the first couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2002, I bought him out, and then it's kind of just grown from there. We used to do it for like pizza money. Mm-hmm. People came in, they wanted their fish tanks cleaned.
How much pizza were you eating?
Yeah, a lot. No.
A lot.
We were making, $300-400 a month, but we loved it. People came in all the time, they're like, we want a fish tank, but we don't want to clean it. And so we were like, we like to clean it. So we started from there, and the rest is history.
You're the perfect girl. You're willing to clean a tank.
So it worked out really well.
And then, so that was a maintenance service where you went to people's homes?
Correct.
Or businesses?
Yep, so we had, to begin with, and which we still have our very first client after all of these years. So I've watched their kids have kids, and so that's been awesome.
Really
but
cool.
It was half and half. So Alina Medical Clinic was one of our first bigger companies that came in to do it. But otherwise, yes, half private homes and then half public.
Nice. And then at some point you said, you know what, I need my own building.
Yes. So I started with a Dodge Neon, and I would load everything in there, and then slowly it started taking over my house. It was like a garage thing, and then my first house I had my own room, and then the second one I needed a little more space, and then finally Travis, who works with us too, like my right-hand man, he pushed me, he really did, and he's like, we need to have a store. And I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do a store, I'm going to do it my way. And I wanted to do it a little bit differently.
So what inspired you on the decor?
I wanted it to solve 2 problems. And I'm going to say it kind of crass, but I didn't want it to be...
No one's listening.
I didn't want to feel like you were, A, needed a tetanus shot, or B, have to take a shower after going to the store. A lot of the stores, they smell bad, they feel dirty. And I also used to do interior design for fun. So I brought
in... Did you say for fun?
For fun, yeah.
For fun.
In the background, yeah.
Right.
So I brought in, our theme was to build it like a design studio. So people are bringing these aquariums into their homes, make it fit their home. So I took big gaudy frames, and then I have a couch, and we have wood floors, and just wanted it really welcoming.
You have tentacles on the wall.
Yes, I do. Big octopus
I
tentacles.
love that. And then you have like a beaded drape.
Yeah.
It's some kind of a fishy type bead curtain thing
Yep.
by the sofa. I
Yep.
don't know what that's called. Or
So we just blended like old with new. Some of the bigger pieces that we had were actually antiques, which I kind of, it's like a hobby thing. So I picked a lot of them, and I whitewashed them, and I just made it. I wanted it to give that just a real warm feeling when you walk in, and then also that calming that aquariums naturally bring.
So when I went into your store, it was beautiful, but it's because it's only a year and a half old, right?
It's
When I
two.
saw
Yep,
it,
we just
because
got we just had our second anniversary.
right,
Yep.
and I was there about 6 months ago.
Yep. Yep.
But I just think that could last long term, but you said you're expanding.
Yes, so we, it took off a lot faster than I thought it would, and we have amazing customers, and there just is that need. We don't have enough space. We ran out of space probably our first couple of months, so we're taking over the side next to us. We'll keep with the same theme. We'll expand. We might dabble a little bit into some freshwater planteds, because I truly believe too a beautiful planted tank looks as beautiful as a reef. So.
No, I disagree with that.
So we might do some of that, but again, bringing in some more for education, a meeting room, stuff for clients, information boards, and then what I also want to do is build it so that people can actually touch things. They can use an Apex, they can play with lighting, they can do all those types of things,
Well,
hands-on.
you've got the sofa,
Yeah,
and I think you need like a cappuccino machine next to it.
yes,
Because
or
then
a
it's like
margaritas.
friends. Or margaritas. I like that. Dollar margarita all day Saturday.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you're creating kind of like a reef box.
Yeah.
And people can come in and just relax.
And that's
And
exactly.
hopefully buy something.
Yes, well, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of our customers, they come in with just like the casual, like it's ketchup. On Sundays, I make generally like brownies, and we'll do like, we've done
I
mimosas.
wish you were closer to me. Oh my God.
We've
Brownies.
We've
Oh
done
my God.
mimosas, and we've done fun things, but on the weekends it's way more laid back. But then that's when I will release. We have our Project Homegrown, where we do a lot of our own coral fragging and growing in the back, and so I would bring those out and then release them for everybody to see.
In your expansion, you might have the frag systems visible then, right?
Yes. Yep. And so that's what.
Maybe through a window.
Yeah.
So they
Well,
can't
that's
mess
what
with it.
we came here for. Is just inspiration. There's a lot of different systems that we saw
Yep.
that work really well for fragging, and just for that our Project Homegrown in general.
What's your favorite fish?
Favorite fish is Morse idol.
Why? Because it doesn't live?
No,
Because
well,
you keep selling hundreds of them?
no, I actually won't sell them in the store. I've dove with them, I've swam with them, and they're majestic to me. And there's something that I don't feel belongs in an aquarium. So we've had one as
so glad I don't have one right now.
we've sold one, and that was a rescue one, and it's still alive. It's for the first 2 years. It's doing great. But yeah, they're just majestic to me, and so I've swam with them for hundreds of yards, not 6 to 8 feet. I just
Right,
can't
yeah.
do it.
Well, I feel a little bad for Spock. She's swimming in 7 feet, but
Yeah.
I've had her since 2004. What am I supposed to do?
I have a coral beauty, actually. I've had for 22 years.
Nice.
She looks.
That's longer than you've been in business. How's that possible?
I
You
started in
your
the
tank
hobby.
Even younger?
Yep.
than-
Yep. I had my first guppies when I was like 10.
How did you get into that? How did you say, hey, I want saltwater hobby? Or like you said, guppies. That's not saltwater, but
Well, like any hobbyist, you start small. So I started with peanut butter and jelly were my guppies, and then peanut butter killed jelly, so I got salt and pepper, and then salt died, so then I had peanut butter and salt,
okay.
or peanut butter and pepper. I can't remember, but
That doesn't go.
but then from there, it just you have a fish bowl, and then you have a fish tank. My dad always had aquariums, so he had a 20-gallon long with an angelfish, and then we had all these local pet stores, and I was there one day, and she had saltwater fish, and so then we started.
You had to do the conversion.
Yeah,
And your parents just paid for everything?
No,
Or you had to
no.
wash cars
I
or
had to like
babysit?
babysit, rake lawns. I mean, I've had a job forever,
Yeah.
but do whatever I could. And I mean, I spent more money, I think, on my first reef tank than I did on my first car.
I believe it.
So
It's an expensive hobby.
it is.
I tell people when you're getting the hobby, it's like how much does it cost? I tell them expect it to be about $47 a gallon.
That's fair.
And I did a whole article on this and did all the math. And
Yep.
I mean, a real reef tank, not
Yep.
just like a tank with a fish.
Right.
And I came out to $47 a gallon. I can go higher or lower. In fact, you'll go home and play with it.
I will.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everyone keeps saying 25. I was like, where are they getting 25 from? That's not possible.
Well, maybe.
So you look at a 100-gallon tank, you're talking about $4,700.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, how are you staying so excited after all these years? Because your excitement is obvious. You're still going.
Yeah, and I don't think that'll ever change. I think I have a plethora of degrees. I have a degree in psychology, and I have a degree in marketing. I have a degree in communication studies. And everyone's like, oh, that's such a weird hodgepodge, but it's not. It's like psychology study of people, communicating and selling. And that's the thing. I get to meet.
It's horrible. You know how to make us buy.
Well, that, but
like
I love people, and I love teaching. And so I think that's the next step of, I truly do love maintenance, but my body, I've been doing it for 20 years. I can't do it forever.
Right.
But I have amazing girls, we call them the Mermaids, and they have done an amazing job taking over that part. So I'm able to do seminars and teach. And for me, finding the next kid that was me, spending his hard or her hard-earned allowance on fish tank stuff, and then me allowing them or helping them to get all the right stuff that they need to be successful, that to me is exciting. And I don't think I'll ever lose that.
That makes sense. Have you ever thought about just moving to a closer location to like DFW so that way I could come and have brownies on Sundays?
Right.
Or are you going to stay up in
I'll stay in Minnesota. That's where, I've definitely thought of it. My family, we have several hundred maintenance clients, and that's where.
That's what's making your company.
Right, and
boom.
So, would I consider expanding over time? Maybe. It's stressful. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not like that I saw this one thing. It says the only way to become a billionaire or a millionaire in the aquarium industry is to start off as a billionaire.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense.
But
at least you still have $1 million.
Right, but yeah, so it's just that passion. I don't think that'll ever go away. And if I expand, I just would have to find the right place and the right people.
Yeah.
That share the same. And right now we have an amazing crew.
Those are hard to find.
It is. We have an amazing crew, and Travis has been with me for 4 years, and he's been my biggest blessing. And then my girls too that have come in the last couple of years. It's just been great. So.
What's your least favorite task?
Cleaning protein skimmer.
What? Not paperwork?
Actually, billing is the word. Actually, if you said yes, if it was outside the aquarium, billing would definitely be it.
I cannot believe how much paperwork I do for my company, and you're a store.
I can't sit still.
You're 10 times worse than me.
You can ask any of my employees. They're like, you have to like staple my pants to the chair. But cleaning protein skimmers are just smell.
All right, let's see. What else do I have? How many minions work for you now?
I have 6. 7.
You need $1 million, though,
7,
right?
including myself.
Yeah. You're a minion.
Yeah. I do everything that anybody else does. And in fact, I'd love to do maintenance forever, but I have to run the store, not necessarily run in the store.
Well, like you said, you educate. So if you can educate your minions to do and know what you do, they can kind of take that load off literally off your back.
Right, and they are.
So you're not wearing yourself out.
Yeah, and it just turned out this way that all of my maintenance crew are all women.
Yeah.
I don't know why it turned out that way.
Love that.
It just did it, but they're great, and so it's just been
And if this falls apart, you have a dating service already in place.
My mermaids.
Your mermaids. There you go. Okay. Favorite coral?
Favorite coral? I'm a chalice girl. I never really liked them or knew of them like in the very beginning when we had like 3 choices of corals anyway.
Yeah.
But over time, I just have an affinity. I like the different color. I like the texture. After this Magna, we're bringing so many things back.
Right.
So we're bringing a lot of LPS. So I don't know if those will quickly become a favorite.
I saw a massive amount of acants in the back row.
We bought.
Those?
We bought. I think we're bringing 20 colonies back. We bought that big Balsani, a bunch of other stuff. So.
Listen, thank you so much for taking the time out of your Magna to visit with us, and everyone needs to check out her store. The name of your website. I'm going to put all the links in the description, but.
It's New Wave Aquaria,
right.
And then newwaveaquaria.com is our website.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah. So, and we're launching a new marketing program coming up. So there'll be a lot of incentives and things coming up. It'll be much more interactive with all of our new stuff. So that'll be helpful.
I look forward to visiting again.
I would love to have you again.
Especially maybe after the expansion.
That would be so great.
And I can get my hands wet.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you.
Okay. I know. I need my own microphone. Let me work on that. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this interview, and if you're up in Minnesota, be sure to check out the location in the description of this video so you can go check out this store for yourself and be impressed. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, share it, and I'll see you guys next week.